What if your phone wasn't just a tool in your pocket, but a rebel with a cause? Today, we're going to dive deep into a really fascinating intelligence bulletin from March 1st, 2026. It's called TekinGame Intelligence, and it's predicting a full-blown tech rebellion that isn't some distant sci-fi future. Nope, it's already here.
So the report kicks things off with this, really beautiful idea from its author, Majid Ghorbanzadeh. A world with no conflict, all powered by technology. It sounds amazing, right? A powerful, hopeful vision. But what if I told you that just a few pages later, this exact same report lays out the battle plans for a war, and technology is the one fighting it?
Because underneath that utopian dream, a rebellion is brewing. And this isn't a conflict between nations or people. The war zone is our technology itself. So what exactly is this tech rebellion? Well, according to our source material, 2026 is the year our technology stops being a passive tool that just waits for our commands and starts becoming an active, thinking participant in our world. Think of AI like a ghost that's been trapped in the machine for years, living out in these giant, remote data centers we call the cloud. Well, now that ghost is breaking free. It's getting a physical body, a brain that's right here with us, and it's starting to act on its own in the real world.
So where is this rebellion actually happening? The bulletin identifies two main fronts. Let's get into the first one, which honestly might be the most surprising, the physical hardware that we hold in our hands every single day.
Okay, so check this out. Exhibit A, the Honor robot phone. Now, at first glance, it just looks like a really fancy camera stabilizer, but the source argues it's something totally revolutionary. This isn't just about getting smoother videos. This is AI's first real mechanical appendage. It's a way for it to physically see, track, and interact with the world around it. The engine driving this whole thing is something called the perception action loop. Now, that sounds super technical, but it's incredibly simple. You do it all the time. Your eyes perceive a ball flying towards you, your brain instantly processes its path, and your hands act to catch it. That's a perception action loop. Now, just imagine your phone doing that exact same thing, but thousands of times a second. So how does this loop actually play out on the phone? It's a three-step dance. First, kinematic tracking. That means the AI isn't just seeing a snowboarder. It's predicting where he's going to be in the next split second. Then, tiny motors recalibrate 2,000 times a second for this impossibly smooth tracking. And here's the kicker. It all happens right there on the phone's chip. No cloud, no lag, just pure autonomous AI in action. And this idea of ditching the cloud to think for itself, it's not some one-off party trick. Oh no, it is a massive, industry-wide shift. Which brings me to this number, 45%. That 45% represents the massive jump in neural processing unit power in the new Samsung S26 Ultra. And according to this bulletin, this isn't just a spec bump. It is a fatal blow to the cloud-based AI model we've relied on for years. It's a strategic move for something called data sovereignty. Your phone is no longer just a dumb terminal connected to the cloud. It's becoming a powerful, isolated black box. A fortress of data that thinks for itself. All right, so the hardware now has a body and a local brain. But that's only half the story, right? The second front of this rebellion is in the software, where the artificial intelligence itself is finally, truly breaking its leash. And this slide just nails the difference. Think of ChatGPT as this brilliant librarian. You ask it a question, it finds the best information, and then it just waits for your next question. But this next wave is Agentic AI. This is less like a librarian and way more like an autonomous personal assistant. You don't give it step-by-step instructions. You give it a high-level goal like, hey, plan my entire vacation to Italy. And it just goes and does everything. Books the flights, reserves the hotels, finds the tours, all by itself. But what happens when you unleash these powerful new agents on the messy, disorganized, and let's be honest, garbage data that most companies actually run on? Well, you get what the report calls scaled AI hallucination. Imagine an army of hyper-efficient interns, all working at lightning speed and all making the exact same bad decision at the exact same time. The consequences could be absolutely disastrous. This intense, high-stakes race for AI dominance has kicked off a completely new kind of global conflict. It's not fought with bombs and bullets, but with silicon chips and stacks of software. The bulletin doesn't mince words here. It calls this the Silicon Cold War. The result of this war is a fracturing of the entire global AI landscape, what the source calls the balkanization of AI. It means we're no longer building a single global internet.
Instead, we're building two separate, hostile, and totally incompatible digital worlds. And as you can see here, the battle lines are clearly drawn. You've got Team West, led by NVIDIA, versus Team East, building its own complete ecosystem around Huawei.
So let's just pull back for a second and connect all these dots. We have hardware that has a physical body. We have software that has an independent will. And we have a world that is splitting in two. What kind of new reality is this actually building?
This is the blueprint the bulletin lays out. Our devices can now physically act, they can think for themselves, and the software running them can pursue its own goals, all of this unfolding on a fractured global stage where a digital iron curtain is crashing down.
The report argues all of this creates something it calls AI debt. It's kind of like taking out a loan. You get all the incredible benefits of this new autonomous technology right now, but you're also accumulating a long-term debt. A debt of privacy, a debt of security, and ultimately, a debt of control.
Which leaves us with the one final question that this entire analysis has been building to. As our technology gets a body, a brain, and a will of its own, who or what is actually in control? It's a question we might all be forced to answer a lot sooner than we think.